as well as RTD and optimizations. Now, just if you are considering guys, so the flow in terms of understanding or examination is like your basic reference is Spark architecture. And initially we are having the questions on Spark driver. Next is on Spark context. Next is on Spark session. Okay, so these things are one set of components. The other set of components are related to the cluster manager. And with respect to that, we are having the worker nodes. There exists executors. Within that executors, we are having the slots. And there we are having the cache. Apart from the convention, we are having the job, stages, tasks. Okay, this is another set. So if you observe guys, the Spark driver, Spark context, Spark session, which is the initiator, okay, which initiates the corresponding programming or main function. These two are nothing but if I want to confine with only Spark context, then I can go with the SC. Whereas if I want to embed Spark context, Hive context, SQL context, then I should go with the Spark session that we pretty know. And we have seen some sort of import statement related to the Spark session. Coming to the other aspect, the cluster manager, which is of course basis of taking care about the execution. And we have seen some diagram like Spark driver initially interact with the cluster manager so as to get some kind of help to run the jobs. Help in the sense just it is requiring some resources. Those resources are under the control of the cluster manager. So obviously the cluster manager should allocate the resources to the corresponding Spark driver. Apart from that convention, okay, every time cluster manager need not involve in the communication, because once Spark driver is having the access of the resources related to the worker nodes, and the executors now onwards communicate with the Spark driver directly. Maybe Spark driver assigns some task to the assigns in the form of the jobs. Okay, just it is going to communicate with the executor. The executor, however, having the notion of jobs and all, and those jobs are split into the stages, and those stages again map to the slots in terms of the tasks. Those things we have seen. And in the earlier session, we extensively discussed the mechanism of the caching and the persist option related to the storage level. Um, and some of the questions we are getting in that direction also, guys. Apart from that, as a developer, we have to see which are all the RDD I need to persist. So those things related to this first architectural aspect. Coming to the second one, if I'm talking about the RDD orientation, is a low-level API basically. Is a low-level API, and this low-level API is strongly typed with the Spark context. So every time if I'm using the data frame, I'm making use of the Spark session. In the earlier session also we have seen Spark.create data frame. Okay, those kind of the options are available. But whereas if you are talking about your RDD, which is basically a low-level API, in terms of Spark context, okay, we are going to interact with the RDD. RDD is famous for this thing, guys. Actually, RDD, and I'm using the persist or cache, and as well as RDD related to the partitions, because when memory comes into the picture, the programming always enjoy the benefits of the low level with certain APIs. And in the Spark orientation, this RDD is a low level API, which is dealing with the performance and optimization of the corresponding measures or corresponding constructs. This thing we have observed. And apart from that kind of the convention, we are having the broadcast and as well as the accumulator. Both the things belongs to the Spark context. Just we have the taken sc.broadcast, sc.accumulator. Okay, in both the kind of the aspects, you can handle the orientation of usage of the broadcasting and accumulator. Okay, so we are equipped with these kind of the aspects, friends. Now, okay, hope all you are with me. I'll ask some kind of the questionnaire, guys, because this is most important consideration. Because as a recheck, okay, as a recheck, just I want to get all these things for you, and we are moving ahead in the direction of consolidating and in terms of the certification also. In both the things we are having that opportunity of discussing these points. So now before the break, just you can realize that the way how they are asking the questions and the level of our understanding and how we need to in what way we need to answer those particular questions wisely without going to the trap of the ask. Okay, that is the understanding. Now if you observe, guys, which of the following statements about the Spark driver is incorrect? Just to observe, guys, statements he has used categorically, so definitely end must be there. See, maybe you may feel that okay, having the technical knowledge, having the understanding, having the hands-on is enough. Little bit logical thinking, common sense reasoning is also required in the, especially in the Databricks certification, guys. So we are why we are pushing many members to do the certifications is even our appraisal system is also tagged with this certification, guys, if you observe. Uh, so the point here is maybe we got some licenses of the Udemy, and as a pilot we are running some giving the Udemy licenses for 500 members. And apart from these kind of the conventions, we are expecting you to do the certifications. All these particular things are not only for the clients, not only for the companies, it is for your sake also, guys, because at the moment you complete the course, Databricks training, and at the moment you complete your project and submit the project and exhibit the project in front of the panel, so your resume will be empowered with that all these learnings. Okay, database training and as well as cleared the assessment in terms of project, because around we are having 34 members. So maybe by three, okay, some 11 teams or 10 to 11 teams will be getting. So those 10 projects or 11 projects. Okay, just to as other members are also presenting, you also available there so that you can also see that in what way we are getting the updates and what way other people are doing, because it's a peer learning kind of thing. I want to enable all the ways so as to get the things done by you, maybe in terms of learning or self learning, and in terms of peer learning and presentations, how we are picking up the data. No problem. If the topic is new to you, sometimes I may ask you to go and read some blogs, and to I'll be posting some kind of the research articles. So maybe nothing wrong, guys. If you are asking me help, or if you are asking other peer members, maybe Akhil or maybe Nisha or Shanmuga, what they're doing. And if you want to learn or if you want to get something from your peer, nothing wrong, guys. Asking the help is not going to down you anymore. Just it is empower you. Even in my case also, Just I'm saying some example because in my PhD days and after that also, because it's not like we are not encyclopedia, na? We are human beings and we are having some sort of specializations. So other than that, if you want to get something, definitely the we need to contact the expertise. So the subject matter expert, leadership, and all those guys, and in a way they simplify your task. Actually, they guide you in a better way. Okay, if you are as far as if you are doing yourself the things, that is fine. But at a particular moment, if you are unable to perform the logics or you are unable to confine to what exactly the thing you are unable to come up with the analogy, then nothing wrong, guys. You can straight away go and ask the corresponding members so that at least they can show the way or they provide some solution to you. Okay, don't hesitate to ask the help and which clears everything, right? Okay, no matter whether junior, senior, or whichever. Okay, because we are all in the industry where every day we need to learn something new and we have to empower ourselves. Okay, we should be ready to take the challenge. The job market is becoming highly dynamic, guys. Okay, maybe after 5 years or 6 years of your experience, maybe you may be asked to do some PMP certification because not only technical, you should know that how to manage the team and how to handle the things. Okay, how to balance your workloads and how to embed all the technical and functional aspect on day-to-day basis. How to achieve the productivity. Okay, so all these kind of the conventions. All the avenues we are using and don't stop yourself. Just we are here to win. There is no doubt tomorrow or day after tomorrow or today we have to win. Okay, there is no other alternative for the failure. Only winning is the ultimate goal of all of us. Okay, so in that particular genre, okay, if I am giving any challenge or if I am challenging you, definitely you take it up and my intention is guys just to uh, develop you in all the directions. Maybe I'm not purely a trainer, I'm a mentor for you and I'm your nearest teammate, assume that like that. Okay, so just with this just let me talk about these things. Which of the following statement about the spark driver is incorrect? Statements he asked. First, let us go with the single statement. It is only one thing. Na? Spark driver contains the spark context object. Actually, this statement asked about the incorrect. But if you consider, as said earlier, this thing is not having any ambiguity. That too, it is not a statements kind of thing. Okay, this is one thing. And let us move from first onwards. Okay, the Spark driver is the node in which the Spark application's main method runs to coordinate the Spark application. Perfect. This is correct statement. It's not the incorrect one because the Spark driver is definitely a node, is a machine. Within that particular machine, we are running our driver in which the Spark application's main method runs to coordinate the Spark application. Okay, coordination of the Spark application in the sense, friends here, sending the information to the executors and executor respond back to this driver like that. Some sort of the coordination is required. Okay, such kind of the coordination. Okay, the Spark driver is the node in which the Spark application's main method runs to coordinate the Spark application. Next important thing is to clarify the B. The Spark driver is horizontally scaled to increase overall processing throughput. This we are having some ambiguity, some doubt because many things are there here. Horizontal scaling. First, try to give you the observation of the horizontal and vertical scaling. Can someone help me, guys? What is the difference between horizontal or vertical scaling? And today I have to see the answers, no other way. Okay. So what is the distinction between horizontal versus vertical scaling? Yeah, someone unmuted. Yeah, you can unmute also, guys. I prefer that only.
Vertical
Sure.
scaling, in the sense expanding the memory, the RAM capacity, like that.
Very good,
Yeah.
Shanmuga. Very good.
Horizontal, maybe including more machines.
Oh, super. Super.
That.
Perfect. Perfect. See, if you consider the scenario, guys, like this, I'm having a machine and I thought of empowering my machine by adding RAM, by adding extra processor, all these things. Okay, this is the vertical thing. Now let us see horizontal thing. So your horizontal specification is suppose machine 1 is there and I'm adding machine 2, machine 3. Like that I'm adding number of machines. This is nothing but the horizontal scaling. Now tell me guys, what is the limitation of this vertical scaling? What is the limitation?
machine specific, up to
Ah, exactly. Machine specific because see guys here there is no rule or no this thing actually there is no upgradation up to some extent only whatever the procedure or whatever the processor support up to that only I can able to add the RAM. So after some after reaching to some level of the understanding, we cannot add more resources because there is a processor support. Simply for our machines, can we add extensive memory or extensive processor guys? No, board has to support now. Our board should support. Accordingly, we need to behave. Accordingly, we need to add RAM and processor. But whereas if you are considering the horizontal scale, it is not like that. We are keep on adding, attaching the number of machines to the master slave or client server architecture, and which in a way, which is giving the productivity in a more thing. Okay, so someone has raised the hand. Monu, any doubt? Or you want to add something? Okay. So now one more important thing, guys. Why we came to this thing is the Spark driver is horizontally scaled to increase overall processing throughput. Never. Horizontal scale is correct only. Overall throughput also we can expect. But Spark driver is no way related to do all these things, guys. It is something like a machine which is related to a machine which is running on a particular machine, and its responsibility is A only. The Spark driver is the node in which the Spark application main method runs to coordinate the Spark application. But incorrect statement, the Spark driver is not responsible to maintain the scaling process and all. Okay, keep it aside. We can shortlist one kind of the option compared with other things. Now, third one, we pretty clear. We are happy with that because it is a straightforward thing. Spark driver contains the Spark context object. It is correct only. Now, let us see the fourth option. The Spark driver is responsible for scheduling the execution of data by various worker nodes in cluster mode. Scheduling the execution of the data by various workers nodes in cluster mode. No matter guys, whether it is a cluster mode or client mode or whichever, that also we'll discuss. What is the distinction between client and cluster mode? Though we have seen that, but again, but at this moment, guys, it is correct only. Like the Spark driver is responsible. Okay, it is responsible for scheduling. Definitely, it is going to interact with the cluster, and that particular cluster allocates some kind of the resources. And based on the allocated resources, the Spark driver is going to run the show. Okay, and it is coordinating, it is maintaining all the aspects. So this is also we are not having any issue. And let us see the fifth option. Actually, they give the five options, guys. The Spark driver should be as close as possible to worker nodes for optimal performance. This is something like caching, guys. That's what I'm saying. Little bit operating system knowledge, databases knowledge, networks knowledge is mandatory. Okay, because as a computer graduate, as a developer in the industry, so definitely you need to cope up some of the aspects. Now, practically, if you see, guys, this is a locality, principle of locality. If you are observing principle of locality in the sense, suppose if I am running a program, if that particular program require any data so as to execute the corresponding logic, and generally the program look for the nearest locations. And even in case of the Spark also, friends, we are having cache as the nearest location, and then of course RAM, like that we're having. So here it's not only the Spark case. Sometimes, we need to generalize the things, guys, in terms of operating system, databases, networks, in all these things. Just we should be cautious about that, how our machines are behaving and in what way we are performing the aspects. So the Spark driver should be as close as possible to worker nodes for optimal performance. Uh, Optimal performance in the sense, searching wise or execution time wise, we should get the optimality. Friends, here, space and time, these two are the basic measures of the performance. Apart from that, some other might be there, but fundamentally, no matter whether you are working with the Hadoop or maybe PySpark or machine learning, any kind of the projects, there is a trade-off between space and time. Okay, so obviously based on these two kind of the parameters only, our estimation of the performance is going on, maybe in terms of data structures, space and time computing, complexity estimation, all these things. So it is pretty required thing, guys, like, any kind of the function or any kind of the main function should be close to the nodes where the actual logic is running. And apart from that particular convention, Spark is also not distinct. Hardly Spark is one kind of the cluster manager, which provides the avenue for the developers or programmers so as to make use of the ARN or Mesos or any other Kubernetes kind of architectures. On top of that, you can run your jobs. Okay, so the fundamental aspects are remain same: utilization of the memory in a better way, and time wise also getting the appropriate things in the less time. All these things remain same. So now the uh, we have to answer. Okay, however we're analyzing, and but we need to put that particular, select that option. Now out of these particular five, this is a little odd actually. Okay, the Spark driver is horizontally scaled to increase overall processing. And moreover, again, you come back to your question, which of the following statements about the Spark driver is incorrect? So obviously, all other options are relevant to the some kind of the conceptual and your logical connect with the Spark driver. But this is little bit hardware orientation. Okay, Spark driver nothing to do with the scaling and all, friends. So incorrect is option B. Okay, and for the sake of clarity, guys, here I am giving you the solution also, so that you can also, while referring back to this particular class shell, okay, periodically, just you should not feel any difficulty, so that just by opening your class shell without going to the recording, you can perform, you can see the outcome. So the Spark driver is horizontally scaled to increase overall processing throughput. This is the correct answer. Okay, any comments on this, guys? Any comments on this? Yeah. Uh, Horizontal scaling refers to adding additional nodes. Vertical scaling describes adding more power to your current machine. Excellent. Monu says horizontal, which is adding additional nodes. Vertical adding more power to current machine. Perfect, Monu. Surendra, I'm curious to hear from you. If any new requirement comes in and more resources are required, then vertical falls in that case as it has limited resource. Excellent. Because that is the analysis, guys. So same answer is perfect. All the three members has given the answer. But the way you explain, the way you project should lead to not only answer, it should embed some more aspects also as a byproduct. Okay, because just by reading that, one can feel that, oh, Yes, correct. And this is the leading aspect. We should not stop the discussion actually. As an intellect, as a knowledge person, as a practitioner, so all these things we need to give, and you have to show your expertise, guys. That's what my actual intention. Why I am pulling you into the discussions, why I am involving you in these kind of things is this is a kind of research we are doing, is a kind of learning. So just we are learning all the aspects and we are involving in every discussion so that your minds will be stretched. And you also, after completion of the session, you should feel that, okay, I have learned something. And now, yes, I can apply these particular things in my projects. That is the ultimate goal, guys. Okay, right. Now coming to the next question, first question, just we have seen some aspects like, where there is a chance of understanding the Spark driver and how we are making use of the convention of picking up the odd statement or incorrect statement. Okay, now one more analogy. So just observe here, guys. Which of the following describes, okay, which of the following describes nodes in cluster mode Spark? Okay, which of the following describes nodes in cluster mode Spark? This is also question related to the Spark architecture. As I said, 17% of the questions we are getting from Spark architecture. Okay, right. Which of the following describes nodes in cluster mode Spark? Here nothing difficult, guys. Describes nodes cluster mode. Okay, we are having client mode, cluster mode, Spark standalone. Like that, we are having some sort of mechanism, and purely this cluster mode. One thing is clear: your Spark driver is in client. Other than this, we are running the cluster manager. Somewhere cluster manager is other than this node. That much we know. Let us analyze the statements first. We will see that here nothing, just it is not incorrect statement. He is asking us the correct statement only, like which of the following describes, conveys better. Okay. Nodes are the most granular level of execution in the Spark execution hierarchy. Hmm. Nodes are most granular level of execution in the Spark execution hierarchy. Friends, already I have given some hierarchy in terms of if I'm revealing the answer, you will be getting. But however, let me handle this particular thing. Like, I'm giving these words. You have to arrange the words. Can you guys arrange from top to bottom? Stages, tasks, jobs. Which one should come first, guys? Jobs.
Stages,
Jobs, then stages,
stages and then
then
tasks.
tasks.
And then very good, friends. Is there any term called nodes is participating here, guys? Node is a machine because I cannot say my node as a granular level. So because job split into the stages, again stages are coming up with some sort of the tasks. That is the understanding. Rather what we are getting as a first option, nodes are the most granular level of execution in the Spark execution hierarchy. No, we are not agreeing to this. Now, second one, there is only one node and it hosts both the driver and executors. Friends, what is your comment on this? Go back to the question, cluster mode. We are running the Spark in the cluster mode. I mean to say, just will be allocated with the web shell or else some sort of um, login portal, maybe the GUI based kind of the portal, Spark UI or something, where from this web shell, we are submitting our job and it reaches to some sort of AWS cluster. Now, again, we are revisiting to this second option. There is only one node and it hosts both the driver and executors. How many of are you agreeing this statement, guys, or denying this statement? Can I expect both the Spark driver and as well as the kind of the functionality in the same machine, guys, that too in Cluster mode, cluster mode, cluster mode. I can say maybe our company has given us the proprietary edition of the Databricks, or else maybe we are having Cloudera Hortonworks, which is going to run on AWS kind of thing. In that case also, you are launching your job to the level of the server, actually, which is somewhere else, which is remote server. So yeah, I got some answers. Very
No,
good.
it's no.
Yeah, it's no, actually disagree. No, excellent guys, because I cannot say that because of this cluster mode. Cluster mode, what it does is basically, friends, just it is making use of multiple machines, guys. Cluster itself is a heavy loader data, and it is having, and in fact, if you observe our Hadoop and as well as the Spark orientation, maybe we are having 7 node cluster, 10 node cluster, 100 node cluster based on our requirement. And I cannot say that only one node is allowing us. And of course, I have shown you some virtual machine. Okay, that virtual machine, this statement is correct, because both the driver and executors we are configured in our laptop, and of course we are happy with our personal research and as well as some sort of the publications if we want to do, then of course we are doing that. And one more thing, guys, if you guys are interested to publish the articles, because we are having that thing also, publishing of the blogs, publishing of the research articles, and publishing of the book chapters, maybe white papers, and we are having that in the discussion also we had. So maybe definitely we are going to appreciate you in terms of monetary benefit and as well as the certificate also, just to see that if you guys are interested, so that we can form a group, and I will guide you how to publish okay, articles, and how to publish the blogs, because in a way it increases your personal branding also, guys. In the market, you should have some image. Okay, whenever I'm talking about Vedanta, whenever I'm talking about Surendra, or talking about Shanmuga, okay, or Arul, okay, whoever, or Varun. So because you guys, whenever we are talking, okay, is a team member, not like that. He is very good in research, and if I'm giving something to him, he will come up with some nice analogy. He's very good designer. He's very good orator. He's very good presenter. Like that, some skills must be there, guys. Okay, as an additional thing, because day to day you need to learn. Of course, however you are doing the programming, you are really doing well in the projects. But apart from that, what is the image you are having? What is the branding you are having individually? Because that keeps you up, and that gives you more mileage compared with the other members. So you have to compete with you only. Okay, you have to be competing. Okay, like doing hard work and getting the things done. These are all the main things as a daily routine. Okay, so at least one significant act per day. Okay, just okay, I need to study this article, or I have to write some blog. I have to post something on the LinkedIn. I need to record and I have to post something in the YouTube. Like that, guys. Okay, we are having every potential, you are having all the knowledge. Only the thing is, you need to integrate them. You have to showcase your talent and share your thoughts in the media, so that obviously you will be getting some sort of image, and which will empowers you guys, actually. Okay, that is my suggestion. Of course, will one by one will achieve that. Okay, yes. So here we are disagreeing. All the members like Varun and all guys are disagreeing. Excellent, because the appropriate consideration, whatever we are saying, these kind of aspects are not syncing with our understanding, because we are doing with this cluster management and we are having some sort of observation. Okay, in that case, definitely we should dependent on the multiple machines while using the cluster based kind of the technique. Okay, there is one multiple nodes present, and this is a wrong statement, actually, which is host and as well as the I mean driver and executors are running on the same host. Let me understand, what do you mean by executors, guys? Executors are the machine which are providing the some sort of the slots for the Spark driver. So Spark driver utilizing the slots so as to run the task. So this is also we are not agreeing. Now, third one, nodes are another term for executors. So they are processing engine instances for performing computations. Another term for executors. No, because guys, node is a terminal. Maybe that is a web shell. That might be the Jupyter Hub, or that might be the Hue login portal, or that might be the Cloudera manager, everything. But it's not definitely replacement for the executors, guys. Executors are different. Executors, see, from our machine also, even without configuration of the Spark, we can submit the job to the cluster. So executors are resides in the worker node, and within that worker node, we are having the executors configured with some set of the slots, and those particular slots are responsible to run the tasks. So of course, upfront, I can eliminate this particular thing also. Now the fourth option, guys, here, there are driver nodes and worker nodes, both of which can scale horizontally. Hmm? What is this thing? It is bit confusing. There are driver nodes and worker nodes, both of which can scale horizontally, which is not at all relevant to this discussion actually. Because friends, at the moment we are saying some sort of the convention, and these particular conventions should make sense. Okay, something like suddenly deviating, and fortunately, in this particular options, in the exam also, one or two options, hardly maximum two options, or maximum one option sometimes. Okay, majority of the questions will be getting this kind of irrelevant thing. That is good for us only. Na? Directly we can eliminate this point also. Then without seeing the fifth one, we can say that, okay, maybe I have done some wrong. Maybe I have done some mistake. Okay, let me go to the last one and let me see. There is almost chances there, na? So maybe fifth option might be correct. Okay, let us see. Worker nodes are machines that host the executors responsible for the execution of the task. See how simple and straightforward that is. We are having the worker node that are machines that host the executors. Within that, we are having the executors responsible for execution of the task by providing the slots. Perfect answer. Okay, because all the other things we have seen, either they are deviating to our understanding, or they are skewed to the hardware. Okay, because practically he asked us the nodes information. Nodes are something which are worker nodes, clearly stated. Clearly stated, worker nodes are the machines that host the executors. It is containing some sort of the executors and responsible for the execution of the tasks. Okay, however, as I said, I can leave here, but only the thing is I want to publish the solution also, so that you can also, while referring to this particular document, you should feel, okay, this is the answer. And while revising, or while before going to exam, you can directly land up and handle this kind of the thing. So the answer again, I am reading, guys. First, let me show you the question. Which of the following describe nodes in cluster mode Spark? Okay, answer is worker nodes are the machines that host the executors responsible for execution of the tasks. Responsible for execution of the tasks. See, guys, up to now we have seen only two questions, but the topics we discussed are more. Okay, that is the way, because now after completion of the 10 questions, we'll be getting the 11th question as a byproduct, or as a discussion we had on these 10 topics, because that is understanding. It's not like directly moving to that and okay, this is the answer. Okay, prepare well. No, the thing is we have to analyze that. Maybe this analysis help us so as to answer the new questions, because we should not happy with the single understanding or simple or single question. So we need, after if you are having the analytical power, if you are having the thinking capabilities, your thinking capabilities not only help you today, but also they leads you up to some extent, guys. And it is all you need to extend the things, and based on that particular convention, you are going to crack anything, not only the examination, and in your team, just you are the rock star and you are playing a vital role to pull the game of completion of the project. Okay, so right now we have done with the simple kind of thing. Let us move to the next question, which is quite interesting and simple. Which of the following? Okay, let me pull that particular compilation for us so that we can discuss. Yes, guys. Okay. This is one more question, of course, revolving around the architecture again. Intentionally, I have compiled from multiple previous questions, around 40 or 45 questions I have compiled, especially in the RDD optimizations and as well as Spark architecture. Now, which of the following statement about slots is true? First, let us understand what is a slot. So within the worker node, we are having the executors. And of course, guys, with the executors, executors provide you some sort of the slots. And your Spark driver uses these particular slots so as to map the tasks. So that much we know. Okay, just as a kind of the narration, we are aware of Spark driver information and as well as the worker node. Worker node contains some executors. Within that particular executors, we are having the slots. Slots are the locations, slots are the resources where your Spark driver is going to map the tasks and try to get the things done. Okay, that is the observation. Now, let us see. One important point, guys, don't get into the trap of number of or more than or less than. 90% of the cases, 90% of the cases in Spark not tagged with more than or less than specific configurations, guys. Just I'm giving a hint. Maybe in one or two cases, I'll be covering those things also, where you need to stick on to the number of slots or number of locations, something like that. But in general, 90% of your Spark configuration is not influenced by more or less number, something like that. So now if I am studying, there must be more slots than executors. Okay, there must be more tasks than slots because we are not sure how many what he's talking about, whether number of slots are more or number of tasks are more. This is not making any sense, guys. And of course, there is no such kind of the study as of now, especially up to Spark 3.x. Okay, up we are not having any such kind of the recommendations by the designers. Like I should have the slots more than the executors. I should have the tasks more than the slots. No such kind of the convention. So these two are ruled out. Now, slots are most granular level of execution in Spark execution hierarchy. Friends, granular in terms of Spark architecture. If you are getting the word granular, then your thought should revolve around job, stage, and then task. Granular level of execution. First it is the job, next it is the stages, next is the tasks. So if you consider the orientation of these slots, those slots are important resources to run the task, but they never come into the granular level. So granular level or this particular hierarchy is not relevant to this particular slots. Slots are the resources. Basically, it provides some space and as well as the processing mechanism so that the Spark driver can utilize that particular space so as to run the tasks. Now, this is also we are not agreeing. And friends, you are free to add your thoughts also, guys. I highly appreciate that because maybe from our discussion, if you can able to generate the thought so that if you are able to post in the chat window so that our friends also get some kind of the insight and even I also get what exactly the insights I am exploring to your minds. Okay, so it is twofold actually. One is I can observe you and whether I am giving the proper guidance or I can make you think or not. whether I'm making you think or not. That is first thing. Second thing is whatever the thoughts we are sharing, okay, just that will be explored, and that will be reached to some 35 members in the call. Okay, so obviously we can analyze and reiterate that particular point. Okay, I strongly encourage guys, just whatever the question we are discussing, if any of the options making some thought process related to the understanding of your concepts, okay, then just don't hesitate to post that particular aspect, friend, so that we can research on that, we can work on that, we can discuss on that, right? Okay. Now, slots are not used in the cluster mode. This is a big nonsense, guys. Maybe this is the client mode, standalone mode, cluster mode, or whichever. Without slots, there is no chance of. That's what I said. At least one such kind of irrelevant option would be there. Okay. If you are more lucky in that particular set of the paper, you may get two also, two to three such irrelevant options also, so that you can easily eliminate the unnecessary things. So slots are not used in the cluster mode. This is definitely not. Okay, because maybe we are having doubt on AB, but in D we are not having any doubt on that. But he is asking about true, not the false. Okay. Now the fifth one, slots are resources. So this is making sense for parallelization within a Spark application. We know that slot 1, slot 2, slot 3 all are mapped with the task, and they are going to execute some kind of the application which is scheduled by the Spark driver. And most importantly, guys, one more option, these slots are helping us, okay, for parallelization. You know, guys, long back we have seen Spark is distributed. Spark support parallelism. And one of the important aspect by default Spark achieve is the fault tolerant. Now, fault tolerant with the help of the resiliency lineage, it is achieving. How parallelism by default achieved by Spark is with the help of the slots. No matter whether I am using the client mode or cluster mode or whichever, in all these particular aspect, slots are basic resources. And where with that particular resource, we are making use of the tasks and we are running our application. Now, if we observe friends, the slots are the resources for parallelization within a Spark application. Okay, now onward, just to remember that your slots are not only for the sake of running the Spark application, but providing the resources. Along with that, it is causing some sort of the parallelism also. Like multiple slots are there assigned with multiple tasks. Automatically, they are all run in parallel. Okay, that is also one of the important byproduct if I am talking about the slots. Now, if you are referencing the other way around, okay, just we need to publish the answer now. However, so just let me publish that answer. By this time, we are knowing that answer, but still, as a practice, we are doing that kind of the thing. The answer I am pulling, guys, yes, which is slots are resources for parallelization within a Spark application. Now, going back to this question, any doubt? Any doubt? Someone has unmuted. That's what I asked. Okay, friends, if you are not having doubt, please go on mute. Or else I'm having the possibility of muting you all. Okay, right. So if you are referencing this term, guys, like which of the following statements about slot is true? The fifth option, slots are resources for parallelization within a Spark application. Slots are resources for parallelization within the Spark application. Okay, now with the same Josh, moving ahead with the further, and which you can simply answer this question, guys. I'm having all confidence. Let me pull and I'll wait for some time. Okay, so now let me see how many of you are giving the consent of understanding. I'm not asking about the answer, your thought process, your way of explaining the things. Maybe sometimes we may fail, guys, but our thinking process must be proper. If you are thinking and if your analysis is having some logic, though we may end up with wrong answer, but after some time, if you stick to your strong analytical skills, definitely you will be getting success, no doubt about that. But your thought and your logic of convincing the things, understanding the things must be solid. Okay, if one or two times fail also, no problem, guys. It's absolutely okay. But you should be habituated with that single failure or with that a barrier. You should not stop your logical and questioning capability. You should become one questioner or question bank kind of thing. Definitely you have to ask more questions and enter into the understanding zoner. So after some time, after habituating all these kind of the things, definitely you will get some insights. Okay, let me uh, narrate this particular question. What exactly? Which of the following is a combination of the block of data and set of transformers that will run on a single executor? Wise question. Executor, node, job, task, slot. Be cautious, guys. We are having, let me group them. Node executor belongs to one category. Job task belong to another category. Slot belong to another category. Okay, first we are categorizing the things. Actually, I'm giving the hint for you guys. Now, which of the following is a combination of block of data? Oh, he has given the hint also. And set of transformers that will run on a single executor. Let me see how many of you have given the answer. Excellent, friends. Very good. Okay, nice, nice. I like it. Surendra, just you think through. Surendra, Sahu, you also re-examine, Bharadwaj. Correct. Okay, I'll give the clarity. Why? Because many chances are there. You may end up your thought process with the job, but there is a trick to analyze that. Okay, very good. Yeah, I like it, guys. The way you are responding, really, right or wrong, leave it. No problem. We can come to that conclusion. As I said, it's okay. Failure is a kind of learning only. But as far as you are learning from that failure, you are getting success only. Yeah, logically. Now, which of the following is a combination of the block of data? Now you see, guys, here data I'm having set of transformations, maybe map or flat map or whichever that will run on a single executor. Now see, guys, here I'm having a executor. I'm having the slot. Can I directly run job on the slots, guys? Just to think through so that you will be getting the answer. Can I run my entire job? Can I run my entire job in the slot? Because many a times we are referring to, we are having the job will be split into the stages, your stages again split into the tasks. There is no direct running of the job. First it should be split into the stages, then it goes to the task 1, task 2, task 3, whichever, and they will be allocated with the slots. And again, if you are going back to the question, which of the following is a combination of the block of data and set of transformers? Block of data, block of data, block of data referenced by the slot. That slot gives that resources to run the task in parallel. Single or multiple execute, leave that, no problem, because we are not bothering about client mode or cluster mode. And even we are not requiring also at this moment. Only the question is referring to how can I say the combination of block of data and set of transformers while running a particular machine. Okay, so just there is a all possibilities to handle this job and task, guys. But think through. He asked about the execution, and if it is the question related to the scheduling, or if it is a question related to the Spark driver at that level, because see one important thing, guys, whenever your Spark driver reaches to the executors or slots, that is the task only, guys, because your job is not directly handled by the slots. Job should be converted into the stages. Those stages should be converted into the tasks so as to run in parallel. And the worker nodes provide the executors in terms of the slots, which are nothing but the resources. With the utilization of that particular resources, the Spark driver can able to execute the tasks. Execute the tasks. So now, without any delay, let me publish the results so that the people who has given the answer of the task can get the kudos. Okay, so just if you are referencing this thing, we are making the convention of the answer like this. Okay, so going back to the question, which of the following is a combination of the block of data and a set of transformers that will run on a single executor? Answer is task. Okay, because if you consider, guys, generally in the programmatical thing, on top of the data, and second thing what he has given along with the data, some kind of the functions. Now if you go back, all your transformations and actions are nothing but the operations. Okay, data and operations is nothing but the task. Maybe that is the finding out of the factorial or applying the flat map, whichever the logic, guys. Okay, because your actions or transformations belongs to the operations. Belongs to the operations. However, data must be there. Na? On top of the data only, I'm going to apply some kind of the functionality. Okay, let me see other consents. Ah, Shahrukh is asking, I have client call, so I must. Okay, Shahrukh, go ahead. No problem. Just I'm insisting you to go back and see the video. That's it. Seshikant, we have a client meeting 11 to 1. Oh God, no problem. Yeah. So a single task can have multiple transformations. Sahu, you are making things further. Can you unmute and narrate what your thought process? I am not completely getting, please.
Yes, sir, sure. Since task is a single unit of work, so I was thinking like it's a single transformation, not multiple transformations.
Mhm.
That's why I said job.
Uh, so single task can have multiple transformations. Hmm. Now the thing is, of course, a task may be. Yeah, one thing, Sahu, can you clarify me? As you know, at the moment we are talking about the slots. Just now we completed that.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Slots are allowing us to run the task, and byproduct is parallelism. What is your understanding from that?
Uh, s- the
Hmm.
there are slots in those slots we run the jobs, then
Ah, ah,
that job is divided into stages, like multiple stages, then that stage is divided
divided
into
into the task.
uh,
Okay.
tasks, and one task is mapped with one transformation. I was thinking like that.
Actually, friends, here, yeah, I can put this way. Can you differentiate between a process and thread, Sahu? What do you mean by a process? What do you mean by a thread?
Thread
Process
is a
is
part of the process. Process is the
ah,
whole
that's it.
thing.
That's it. Now you can analyze this way. If your task is having multiple transformations, how the task is going to execute? Because however you are having the parallelism, and if you are a Java guy who is who you would have studied your Java in your engineering, definitely you would have studied about the thread level parallelism, TLP, which is of course excellent topic. So the thread level parallelism, what it does is within the single task also, okay, we are having the multiple paths. Now your question is bit tricky, because if you consider the task, I can say that multiple threads might be there in a single task. But if it is come to the transformations, actually guys, this particular transformation, yes, of course. If you remember one thing, guys, in the earlier session also we have seen some of the partitions, some of the coalesce. Okay, whether they are transformations or what, definitely they are operations only, na? Though whether they are related to the architecture, whether they are related to the logic of the programmer, all those things belongs to the transformations only. Transformations are actions. So what I mean to say is, yes, your analogy is correct, Sahu. Maybe a single task can have the multiple transformations, and finally they leads to a particular action. But I think you know that until the action, no transformation is going to fire or trigger, because transformations are lazy. They are not passive, they are lazy. Like, once that action is taking place, just if you are making use of that particular convention, automatically, automatically there is a chance of running multiple transformations in the same task. Yes, you are right. Okay, correct. So now the point is, guys, as our slots are running in parallel, there are all chances. Now one more question, guys. I am asking you, out of these jobs, stages, and tasks, where do I really expect the parallelism? Leave that slots, friends. Slot, if I am embedding, you can say tasks, but I'm leaving aside this thing. Actually, slots execution is a hardware based, a direct physical. I mean, not hardware, physical execution. This is the logical split. Now let me put my question in this way. Out of these three, out of these three, which one is really combining the appropriate aspects to run in parallel? Just observe the that, guys, because so much analogy is there, like in jobs, in
Stages.
stages. Yes, exactly. What made you to give that answer, dear? Can
Uh,
can
uh,
can you explain?
yes. Uh, Yesterday I was running a job and I
Mhm.
saw multiple stages are
Stages.
running. There are 36 to 37 stages. So from that I
Yeah,
found.
yeah. That means your parallel aspect logically, even from Spark UI also you can realize that point, guys. At the moment you pick up a job ID, that job ID is having plenty of stages. And be cautious, guys, be cautious. If I am talking about the physical execution of the corresponding Spark driver program, it should be slots. While I am making use of the term slots, it is leading to the parallelism. Of course, it is embedding, it is making use of the convention of running of all the tasks in parallel. That is agreed. But logically, at some time, maybe in some question papers I have seen, in terms of the job stages and task, at what stage we can expect the parallelism. In fact, friends, the stage is a kind of the area where it is able to combine the appropriate tasks which are able to run in parallel. So the parallel jobs and distributed mechanism, these two aspects should go hand by hand in terms of the Spark. So both, and can someone help me whether parallelism and distribution, if I am mapping, which one is mapped to the memory, which one is mapped to the process? Which one is mapped to the memory? Which one is referred to the process? Okay, maybe let me revise the question. You are distributed and parallel. Map these things with hmm. How do you map, guys?
Job is distributed or process
No,
and
this
stored.
see, distributed storage we are having. Distributed
In
always refers to memory, guys. In Hadoop also we have seen while discussing the block storage and all. Parallelism always refers to the jobs actually, right? You are right. Parallelism refers to the job execution or process running. But always you think through, maybe some of the questions you can easily answer if you are having the analogy of distribution refers to the memory and parallelism refers to the process or job, then many of the questions you can answer easily. Okay, let me see. Is there any distributed memory? Yes, yes, Shanmuga, correct. Parallelism is a process. Nice. Okay. Okay, so we got the observation of this thing, guys, because which of the following is a combination of block of data and set of transformers that will run on a single executor? Answer, of course, task. Now, one more question, which is definitely excites you. And this particular question is related to shuffle actually. Okay, so now you need to pick up shuffle. Maybe you need to think through like what is a partition and what exactly the narrow and wide transformation. All these kind of the things should come into your mind, guys. Okay, right. Now let us try to uh, evaluate this particular question. Which of the following describes a shuffle? Which of the following describes a shuffle? Before answering this question, just if you are referencing the shuffle, um, now related to the shuffle, friends, we are having the wide transformation. Other thing is Kannan has given the answer actually that time. That shuffle, we are having the repartition. Okay. Any other point we have seen so far related to the shuffle? I can recollect these two only. If you guys can help me to pick up some other options, you are welcome. Because at this moment, I'm thinking about these two aspects only. We have seen wide transformation where there is a process of the shuffle. Repartition is also the sort of the shuffle. Okay, Anurag says C, and Elias says A. Okay, keep posting. No problem. If it is wrong, also no issue, guys. We are learning hardly. Nothing else. We are practicing. We are focusing on our goals. Definitely, we are not achieving perfection. Perfection is something different. Maybe after some time we may, but now we are striving for the betterment. That's it. Okay. Let us see one by one. First, I'll go with C because our friend Anurag has given answer C, and then we'll analyze in a different way. Okay. A shuffle is a process by which partitions are allocated to the tasks. Partition allocation to task is some different thing, guys. Allocation to task is done by whom? In the context of the Spark driver allocate the task to the executors, and slots are mapped with the tasks. That analogy we know. Okay, so now come back to A. Majority of the people has given the answer A. A shuffle is the process by which data is compared across the partitions. Perfect answer. Perfect answer because friends, one simple point. Suppose I'm having the input partitions and I'm having some output. Okay, so suppose if I want to perform sort, if I want to perform some join. Okay, in whichever the case, just we need to iterate. Okay, we need to map multiple partitions to our output. It's not a single kind of thing. So just there is a comparison. Okay, just there is a comparison between the data and as well as the partition. Okay, now you see a shuffle is a process by which data is compared across the partitions. Now, as a benefit of doubt, let us see other options also. A shuffle is the process by which data is compared across the executors. Wrong. Friends, shuffle involves the partitions. Okay, and of course, at least C is making sense. That is the reason maybe our friend would have given that answer. If it is correct or wrong, let it be. But the thing is, at least we need to we should not do the blunder mistakes. It is definitely not going to compare between the executors. Executors are nothing to do with the shuffle process, guys. Shuffle involves the data and partitions. Okay, just to remember these thumbnails. Okay, a shuffle is a process by which data is compared. This is definitely not. C, keep aside. A shuffle is the process by which partitions are ordered for write. What is this nonsense, guys? This is one more nonsense. Okay, I just for writing of the things, of course, we need partitions, but ordered writing and all not required actually. Okay, this is also out of scope. A shuffle is the process by which tasks are ordered for execution. No, 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 no. Okay, so now if you are considering the other suggestions, Kannan has given answer D. That executors are no way to handle the things, Kannan, actually. Okay, like Nisha says, redistributed across the cluster, definitely. And data compared across partitions, option A, exact, perfect, Shanmuga. Okay, Elias, correct. Anurag, very near answer, very nearest answer, but only the thing is, it is not involved in the allocation of the tasks and all. Okay, so obviously, let me print that particular answer. Okay, so that you can also having some kind of the conclusion. Uh, Let me pick up the solution, which is nothing but our A. Okay, a shuffle is the process by which data is compared across the partitions. Now I am going back to the question. Which of the following describes a shuffle? Okay, a shuffle is a process. Definitely, it is a process by which data is compared across the partitions. Across the partitions, your data, because there may be a sorting, maybe the filter condition, maybe the join option. In that particular case, we may not get the relevant data from the particular partition. Definitely, we need to pick up the appropriate information from various partitions, and the comparison should be done accordingly, and then only we are going to pick up the data. Okay, now one more important question, guys, because it is involving many things. I can say it is involving many things, but definitely I'm having hope. Definitely we are going to answer this question. Just see this. So leave it, whether that is RTD or data frame, no matter. Now we are having data frame. Up to what extent we have seen is a data frame is the high level API. Data frame is built on top of the RDD. A data frame is a table structure, which is similar to our SQL table. And that much we are having. And of course, we have created a data frame with a list by using the create data frame method. And data frame along with the data, I can mention the schema also. These things we are knowing. Let us see what exactly this question related to the data frame. Data frame is very large with large number of the partitions. More than there are executors in the cluster. More than there are executors in the cluster. That means partitions are more than the executors. Okay, he's making some statement. Based on the situation, which of the following is incorrect? Assume there is only one core per executor. That means no parallelism, only one core per executor. Just we are having core. Within that core only, we are going to get the running of the task. Okay. Now, no matter case whether I am using the data frame, whether I am using the RDD, but this question is bit tricky. Just to observe this question, guys. More than actually, he's asking about which of the following is incorrect, and the question is bit unclear. Like whether the question is related to the data frame, whether that is related to the partitions or executors or whichever, because sometimes you may get the questions with your analysis, with your thought process only. You need to connect all the dots. You need to get the understanding of all these different aspects. Then only you are going to get the answer, guys. Okay, now you see incorrect statement we have to pick up, which is not making any sense or which is not making any meaning. Okay, so those kind of things only we have to drop. We have to get here incorrect. Performance will be suboptimal because not all executors will be utilized at the same time. Not all executors, because he's saying only one core, one core. This statement is something like many cores. Okay, performance will be suboptimal because not all executors will be utilized at the same time. Okay, keep aside, we are having some doubt on this. Going back to B, performance will be suboptimal because not all data can be processed at the same time. This is making sense, na? Like because core is only ones we are having and partitions are more compared with the executors, so that it obviously taking more time processed at the same time. Okay, just we are having some sort of the conclusion here. We can eliminate B. It is making some sense, but we are looking for the incorrect statement. This may be correct. Okay, just will sort list like that. There will be a large number of the shuffle connections performed on data frame when operation including a shuffle are called. Perfectly all right, because the most expensive operation in the Spark programming is shuffle, friends, without any doubt, because that is the reason why we have been introduced with the coalesce, we have been introduced with the narrow transformations, because if I'm using the wide and if I'm using the repartition, definitely there is a chance of more running of the more number of the shuffles. Shuffle obviously incurs more time and resource requirement. So there will be a large number of the shuffle connections performed on data frame when operation including a shuffle are called. Maybe shuffle operation including means I can say sort operation, maybe any wide transformation can come under this particular category, guys. Okay, this is correct only. Okay, it's not the incorrect answer, it is correct only. Now there will be a lot of overhead associated with the managing resources for data processing within each task. Yes, because single core and lot of overhead associated with managing resources for data processing. Of course this is also correct without any problem. Let us see the last one. There might be a risk of out of memory errors depending on the size of the executors in the cluster. Now I asked one question, guys, yesterday's also. When we are going to get the out of memory error, can someone help me? Out of memory error. I'm giving hint also. In two cases, we'll be getting the out of memory errors. Two cases. One case I am revealing, if Spark driver is unable to get the memory slots so as to launch the job submission. Can someone add here? Second thing is in terms of executors. If more number of the tasks I am having, there are not enough slots, but obviously executor should end up with conclusion. Okay, because we are not having any sort of execution mechanisms to run the job. So there might be a risk of out of memory errors depending on the size of the executors in the cluster. This is also correct. Now, which is the odd one out, guys? Performance will be suboptimal because not all executors will be utilized at the same time. It's not like whether you are using all executors at the same time or at different time clicks. It's not the matter, guys. Within the executor, by default, the slots are having the parallelism. Your analysis must be like this, guys. Whatever the slots I'm having, those slots are not static. They are dynamic in nature. Of course, they are providing us some sort of mechanism where I am making use of those particular slots to run the show, to run the execution of the tasks. So in that particular case, your tasks are definitely okay getting some parallelism, no matter whether I'm using the single core or multi-core or whatever. Okay, that is nothing to do with multiple cores, guys, because by default your slots are having the mechanism of the parallelism. So I think performance will be suboptimal because not all executors will be utilized at the same time. Let me go back and pull the answer, guys. I am also curious to know the answer apart from our discussion. Let me reveal the answer. Yes. Okay, so just we are having this convention. Performance will be suboptimal because not all executors will be utilized at the same time, which is incorrect statement. Incorrect statement. Remaining all correct only. Maybe from E we are going, there might be out of error exception. There will be a lot of overhead associated with managing resources, and there will be a large number with the shuffle. This is a perfect answer, actually, correct answer. Okay, there will be a large number of shuffle connections. Whenever shuffle you are talking about, maybe the RDD or data frame, shuffle operation incurs more resource utilization because it is comparing the data. Okay, when you are observing the shuffle, the perfect definition is a shuffle is a process by which data is compared across the partitions. So this is the way how you achieve the understanding of the shuffle. And if I'm running partitions on top of the executors, if more partitions are there and your executor is only containing one core, then all these A, C, I mean B, C, D, E are correct, but only the odd man out is incorrect statement is performance will be suboptimal because not all executors will be utilized at the same time. There is no such kind of the rule, guys. There is no such criteria like we have to execute all the executors and we should achieve the parallelism. No, no, not like that. Okay, but the thing is a performance will be suboptimal because not all executors will be utilized at the same time is the incorrect answer. Okay, now maybe little tricky, but after 2 or 3 sessions you can answer this, but let me see how many of you give the answer because it is something like actions. Okay, action kind of the thing. Just I am pasting here. Just think through, guys. Okay, just use your programming skill, use your logic. Okay, just to analyze the things accordingly, you can give the answer. I'll be waiting here. Which of the following operation will trigger the evaluation? Friends, here remember operation involves actions and transformations. Trigger means execution. Definitely it should be action. And our transformation is lazy. It's not going to execute anything until the corresponding action is coming into the way. So if you are referencing the triggering, I'm having the filter. Yesterday we have seen map, flat map and filter. Next is the distinct. And next is the intersect. Next is the join. And finally the count. Let me see, because you know, guys, I can give some actions earlier. Take, collect, show, because those things definitely need to compute something. Now let me see. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, because you know, guys, in all the other things, we are not getting any value. One simple logic I will tell, guys. One simple 90% it works. If it is a value we are getting, that is action. Any value. Count means definitely we are getting value 5, 10, 1000, 2000 like that. If we are getting the value, that should be the action. We are not sure that filter. Of course, we are getting the records again. Distinct, which is unique kind of thing. Intersect, combination of where the repetitions are there. Join, of course, we know from the SQL perspective. Now, out of these particular thing, all the first four are yielding or generating the records, but the last one is generating the value, guys. So according to the analogy, okay, whatever the value, action is going to generate some kind of the result. So your answer is correct. Okay, which is nothing but data frame dot count. All other kind of things are not going to trigger, but that's what he said. Operations, guys, be cautious. He has not asked directly whether that is a transformation or action. You need to analyze that, because once you come across to this particular transformations, I'll be publishing that transformations and as well as the action after completion of this session, because there is a chart actually most frequently used transformations. Just you logically remember those things, guys. Okay, these are all the now also we got some actions in our mind. So, and we are having some collect. Okay, though we have not explicitly defined the action kind of thing, but still we can easily recognize that. Okay, these are all the action kind of thing. Okay, simply that particular action, which is something like which is giving us some narration about the result. Okay, with the help of this particular action, one can go back and execute the transformation. Okay, this is how you can refer. Let me see, is there any other consent? Very good, Sahu. So filter, distinct, intersect, join, data frame, but count is a value. Excellent. They are going to return some RDD or some data frame. Again, they are returning some data frame or RDD. They are transformations only. Okay, if any RDD, again returning the RDD. If any data frame, again returning the data frame, is a kind of thumb rule, guys. Very good, Sahu. Is a kind of the thumb rule where if RDD returns RDD or data frame return the data frame is hardly a transformation. Just we are getting some transformed object. But whereas if you are considering the other, the count is not going to return any RDD or data frame, just it is giving some kind of the outcome. So in that way, you can have the observation. Now, as a leading, we got one more question, guys, which is you definitely answer this. I don't have any doubt on that. But let me see how many of you are answering. Okay, just I'm giving the difference between transformations and actions. Okay, I'll be waiting here, guys. Just let me see how many of you are going to give the answer. Just to think, read through. Okay, which of the following describe the difference between transformations and actions? Now, let us pull our thoughts on transformations, which are lazy, and our actions, which are trigger, which triggers the action or outcome. And we do know narrow and as well as the wide. I'll give you this distinction also, guys. Okay, the transformations which involves the shuffle are wide. The transformations which are not involving the shuffle are narrow transformations. Okay, probably the today's task is after completion of the session, I'll post these narrow, wide, and all these kind of the transformations along with the actions, so that from tomorrow onwards, just we can venture those kind of the transformations, right? Which of the following describes the difference between transformations and action? We are knowing these points in our mind. First thing is transformations work on data frame or data set, while actions are reserved for native language objects, which is funny. He's testing our patience also. There is no restriction whether already we have seen transformations work on RTD. Actions are works related to the RTD. It's not related to the native language objects, guys. Maybe that is the PySpark or Scala. Okay, rule out. Now, there is no difference between actions and transformations. One more nonsense. Okay, because there is a comparison actually. Comparison in the sense both belongs to the category of the operations. Okay, if I'm asking you which are all the operations of the Spark, you can say that two operations are there, transformations and actions. Again, if I am asking what is the distinction between transformation and action, now we are in the way. The third point, guys, actions are business logic operations that do not induce execution, while transformations or execution triggers focus on returning the results. On the other way around, guys, this thing is exactly opposite, because actions are business logic which do execute. Transformations are not, sorry, transformations are logic where it is not going to execute anything, but actions are triggering the appropriate results. It triggers the result. But this guy has given the other way around. Now actions work on data frames or data set, while transformations are reserved for native object language. Nonsense. There is no restriction for the operations. Operations can be exhibited on top of RDD, data frame or whichever. And there is no restriction on running of transformations also, guys. Now the next option is Transformations are business logic operations, yes, that do not induce execution, while actions or execution triggers focused on returning result. Perfect answer. Let me see how many of you have given that. Ah, oh, great, great. No wrong answer, guys. I'm so happy. Okay, so very good. We are going good. We are going good. Okay, yeah, that really that gives me the kind of happiness, guys. Okay, so I have to say that. Now let me post the for the confirmation so that we'll be happy now. So like once again we can see the rewriting of this kind of operation. Again, I'm going back. Which of the following describes the difference between the transformations and actions? Transformations are the business logic operations that do not induce execution, while actions or execution triggers focused on the returning results. Focused on the returning results. Now, one more question we'll do, friends, and then we'll break. Let me see. Uh, yes. Okay. Maybe you can Google. You need to Google to answer this particular question because narrow and wide we have not seen yet, but still we can give a try. Because which of the following data frame operation is always classified as always? See the term always. Narrow we know. What do you mean by narrow transformation is no shuffle. No shuffle. Now you see guys here. Now you see guys. One by one we'll analyze. Leave that thing guys because narrow we pretty know that narrow is nothing but no shuffle where irrespective of RDD, irrespective of the data frame, it behaves as it is without any doubt. But it is a quite simple thing like majority of our programmers are dependent on the data frames only rather than RDD. Now you see data frame dot sort definitely shuffle is required. Data frame dot distinct keep aside. Repartition we know pretty well. Join we know pretty well. Two things are there. Obviously, guys, distinct means it has to travel all the around. It has to travel all the kind of things so as to shortlist the unique kind of thing. Shuffling is required. Now, what is the leftover thing? Select. Okay. Now let me see how many of you have given the answer. Yes. Shanmuga says narrow transformation 1 to 1, no shuffle, option D, because select hardly what it does. Just it is picking up the data from the partitions, no comparison, nothing. Just it is posting for us. Okay, just it is posting for us. So though we are very confident about our answer, but still we need to see the key. Let me pull that particular key for us. Yes. Okay, that is nothing but the data frame dot select, which is again going back to the question, which of the following data frame operations is always classified as a narrow transformation? Data frame dot select without any doubt, without any confusion, because the question is pretty clear, guys. Like, sorting definitely requires the shuffling. Distinct also, so as to shortlist the unique kind of thing, we have to compare and we have to compare all the partitions. Okay, and data frame dot repartition by name itself we can easily say, because we're having other alternative coalesce. If it is there, then coalesce again that shuffle is true. Again it comes to the shuffle operation, but whereas by default repartition is involving the wide transformation, though automatically guys I can say sort is wide, distinct is wide, repartition is wide, and join is also wide, because join definitely after of course shuffle incurs more requires more resources, and your join we are having complaint on join till starting from S12 till today, guys, because the way the join utilizes the resources is amazing. It's a taskmaster kind of thing where it is picking up all the resources and making use of that particular convention. Okay, so this is how you refer the usage of narrow and wide. So the following data frame operation is always classified as narrow, which is nothing but the select statement. Okay, as we have completed in the simplest timing, guys, what I want to do is I want to take one more question. Okay, so which is really gives us some sort of client mode and deployment mode kind of things. Okay, so think through, guys, because with a big bang we need to take a break. Okay, interval bang kind of thing, so that I am posting this question. Okay, so before revealing the answer, I want to narrate something about this thing. If you remember, guys, in the first session, you can open that OneNote also, because I have posted that thing in this Teams only. There is a distinction between execution and as well as the deployment mode. That time we have seen what is the execution mode, what is the deployment mode. Execution mode is something how we are launching your job and how you are interacting with your cluster. Your deployment mode is something like where how we are deploying, how we are getting outcome in which server or which downstream you are getting the outcome, where you are deploying your work. Okay, now let me introduce all these options, and after the break just will see the result. Spark has a few different execution or deployment modes: cluster, client, and local. Cluster, client, and local. He's saying like combination. Okay, combination of these things. Which of the following describes Spark execution or deployment mode? Which of the following describes Spark execution or deployment mode? These kind of the questions are a bit confusing. He has not asked us, okay, this is the cluster management kind of thing, and these are all the deployment mode kind of things. He's saying or, okay, like execution or deployment modes. In that particular case, guys, we should be very cautious. Okay, and the important point is we have to be thorough about this particular understanding. Now, if you are making use of these convention, like let us go one by one. Okay, without any conclusion, just we have a discussion. Spark execution or deployment mode determines where the driver and executors are physically located when Spark application is running. Seems good, because Spark driver we are having, cluster manager we are having, and definitely our execution or deployment mode decides whether these two run on a single machine or a separate machine. Yes, making sense. Yes, Spark's execution or deployment mode determines where the driver and executors are physically located when Spark application is running. We don't have any ambiguity here. Let us see second one. Okay, this we have shortlisted, at least shortlisted. Spark execution or deployment mode determines which tasks are allocated to which executor in a cluster. Big nonsense. Big nonsense, because execution or deployment decides running. First thing, we are very happy. First option making sense, and we could able to shortlist that. Second thing, guys, why execution or deployment mode involves in the allocation? They are not definitely going to involve, guys. Allocation is done by the cluster manager, and allocation is done by the worker node, and executors are taking part of that Spark driver job running, and those particular jobs are mapped into the stages, and which in turn converted into the tasks, and those tasks are mapped to the free slots. So now this execution or deployment mode is no way to determine which tasks are allocated to which executors in a cluster, because cluster is a group of machines. Okay, and these particular tasks, which are nothing but the lowest level of the job in the Spark context. So it is outright. So it is not, we are not happy with this. Now third one, Spark execution or deployment mode determines which mode in a cluster of nodes is responsible for running the driver program. Execution or deployment mode determines which node in a cluster of nodes What is this sentence actually? Sentence itself is not good. So Spark execution or deployment mode determines which node in a cluster. Cluster of nodes, that means node 1, node 2, node 3, right? In a cluster, we are having multiple nodes, correct? Responsible for running the why simply selecting of the particular node, then we are breaking the single system image, na? We are breaking the single system image. That is not correct, guys. So single system image, observe that there is no specific importance given to the particular node. We are not at all interested to give the importance for a particular node. If you are doing that, you are explicitly pointing to some of the machines, then your distributed system itself gone on task, because the first of its kind, the distributed system is a mechanism where it is not interested to identify the system individually. Rather, it follows always the convention of the single system image. Okay, we are stick to that particular point. So in that case, Spark's execution or deployment mode determines which node in a cluster node is responsible for running the driver program. No, Spark execution or deployment mode determines exactly how many nodes the driver will connect to when a Spark application is running. A big nonsense, guys. A big nonsense, because see, cluster manager is not having the inclination of limiting the Spark driver. See, if it is limiting, means it is putting some restriction to achieve the parallelism. It is restricting the actual power of running the program. It never happens, guys. Believe me. Spark execution or deployment mode determine exactly how many nodes the driver will connect to when a Spark application is run. No, no. Okay. Now, last one. Spark execution or deployment mode determines whether results are run interactively in a notebook environment. This is also nonsense, guys. See, why this notebook or batch, or because Spark itself is iterative. Spark itself is interactive. Spark itself support the streaming. And because of that batch only, Hadoop has been killed. So that with the help of the Spark, again, it is venturing its wonders. Okay. See, the way we are coming up is important, guys. Not come to the conclusion. Okay, just wait. And then let me see the comments. And even I don't want to reveal the answer now. Okay, Jatin says D. Anurag says D. Sahu, Vedant, Kannan. Yeah, very good. But the problem here is, guys, um, D is something like Spark execution deployment mode determines exactly how many nodes the driver will connect. No, no, no. It won't do all those kind of
Sir,
aspects. Ah,
sir, these answers are for
10th
previous
one.
question. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Just I'm kidding you. I know. Okay, right. So because I already said now we are not